And a good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Pickerington High School North to preview Week 8 of the high school football season. I'm Dave Purpura, along with Jarrod, Ulrey, and our guest to begin the show, not a first-timer here, Panthers coach Nate Hillerich. Good to see you again, Coach.
Good to see you guys.
Kind of a big game out here this week as the Panthers prepare to take on Pickerington Central. And obviously, you guys are playing your best ball here as of late. What, 4-3 overall? You've won your first 2 league games. What do you really like, especially what's standing out to you this past 4 weeks, really, that maybe didn't stand out during the rough start the first couple weeks?
Yeah, I think we've really found our identity on offense. You know, we've slowed the game down. We got a new quarterback back there, Jack Sawyer. With him being back there, we've been 4-1 since. And just kind of found out who we are. We know we got to control the clock, so we got to run the football, shorten the game, and we've had success doing that.
You guys were, a couple years ago, you made a run to the regional final. Last year, a couple things didn't quite go your way. You ended up 6-4, a little bit out of the playoffs. This year, you're back in the playoff hunt. What's kind of your thoughts about maybe the state of the program, kind of the future of the program? This is a pretty football crazy community out here.
Yeah, I really like where we're at, our program. The thing is, we play a really tough schedule, and when you play a really tough schedule, you're going to lose some games. But it prepares you, and it puts you in position where you can be 4-3, and you're still, have all your goals or your aspirations of what you want to see at the end of the year, that they're still there. So we still control our destiny and everything when we were 1-3, and our kids bought into that, just taking one game at a time and being tough, and it's worked for us.
You mentioned on offense you've kind of found your identity. What's standing out to you defensively? I seem to remember what Chris Scott had a huge pick 6 in that win over Reynoldsburg, I want to say it was. What do you really like about what you guys are doing defensively at this point?
Yeah, we're stopping the run, and we've had some players step up. Lawson Vaughn's a D lineman that we've moved him around as a tackle and end, and guys are just doing their job, and we're eliminating the big play, finding a way to get some turnovers, and just finding a way to win football games.
We'll break this matchup down for us, Coach. This is the big one out here. It's pretty exciting week for you guys.
Yeah, and obviously they're a great football team, great tradition. Always special when we play them because there's a lot on the line. And really, I think when you talk about Pickerington football, you talk about toughness, and that's what it's going to come down to. I think the line of scrimmage, who's going to move who. We both got big physical quarterbacks, great running backs, explosive playmakers. So at the end of the day, I think it comes down to the line of scrimmage, who can get the push, who's tougher.
All right, Coach, we will let you get back to preparation. Thanks, Nate, for joining us. Great it is. Panthers coach Nate Hillerich joining us. Central comes over here on Friday night. You will also be coming back out here to cover that game. This is it's a fun rivalry. It doesn't matter what sport it is, but man, and we talk about the stakes being a lot higher than maybe you would have thought they would have been even a couple of weeks ago here.
Well, at the beginning of the season, a lot of us thought Pickerington North was going to be in this kind of a position. So it is exciting. These are a couple teams actually that are doing some similar things on offense. What it kind of seems like to me. I mean, yes, they've got maybe Pickerington North passes it a little bit more than Central does, but North is running the ball better, a lot better probably than they have in a couple of years with Idris Lawrence. He's got over 500 yards rushing now, and then of course Jack Sawyer is. I mean, yes, we know how athletic and how big he is and everything, how fast, but as a quarterback, I think you'd actually kind of categorize him as a dual threat.
Okay.
He's thrown for 5 touchdowns. He's also rushed for a few touchdowns. He's very capable of doing a lot of things back there. And in Central, they've turned out to actually have a really great running game. This might be one of their best running games they've had probably in a few years, actually, with Nick Mosley, and he's got over 750 yards, I think, rushing. And of course, Dimitri Crenshaw he's very dangerous if he gets out on the open field.
Beachy. That's what they call
That's right. Little Beachy. Yeah.
And don't forget Lorenzo Stiles Jr., the receiver, committed to Notre Dame on Sunday. I mean, he finally made his decision. A lot of big schools were after him. And boy, I mean, he's one of those threats in the passing game. It's a huge compliment to their running game.
Yeah, he's going to Notre Dame. Of course, Ty Hamilton's going to Ohio State. Ty actually didn't play last week, but my understanding is that he is supposed to be back this week for Central. So that'll really help their defense as they try to slow North down this week.
Huge in the OCC Ohio and huge in Region 3 because Central comes in to break second. North is 4th. So if the season ended today, they both have a home team.
That's right.
And North has definitely gotten some good wins to boost them up the regional standings. We have 4 games on Thursday, and we will run all of those down for you in a minute. Can't figure why they're playing Thursday this week for some reason. So something's going on Friday. But Thursday night, the biggest of those games arguably is Westerville Central at 6-1 at Olentangy Orange, which also is 6-1. Orange is 2-0 in the OCC Buckeye Division. Westerville Central is 1-1. This carries a lot on it. Westerville North rebounded from a loss and then beat Westerville North on Friday. Orange beat Olentangy. This looks to be a dandy one, probably that we all thought it would be.
Well, yeah.
The OCC Buckeye.
I mean, maybe a couple weeks ago, we weren't really sure how good Orange is, but I mean, they've proven it now.
They really have.
They've kind of, they've kind of been prowling in the weeds or something. Kind of maybe kind of catch some people off guard this week, but I don't think they will now. And they've got some guys that have really been stepping up. I mean, their quarterback's thrown for 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns. Spencer Hawkins, Jake, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Mancheri.
Yes.
Yeah, he's having a real solid season running back for them. So, and then of course Westerville Central they've been really explosive all year, except for the game they played Liberty, and they were held 7 points. But other than that, I mean, they've been an exciting team all year.
Absolutely. We'll see if they can continue to bounce back. This would be one of their better wins of the year, definitely, if they can get this one on Thursday in the OCC Buckeye.
What's the other mention in the Thursday night games?
Westerville North and Westerville South. Central Crossing at Westland. Frank Dorena will be there. I will be at Westerville North and Westerville South. And Grove City at Reynoldsburg is the other game. And those are the ones that we are aware of that have changed. And we don't know if there have been any time changes for Friday.
I know in some other parts of the state they were moving some games up to 6 o'clock, I'd seen. But so far I haven't seen any of this one here.
I am not aware of it. So, and in case we're talking around anybody, Ohio State Northwestern play at 8:30, in case you weren't aware, on Friday night. So that's the reason why some of the schedule movements have been going on.
There's a big one on Friday at Ohio Dominican against Watterson. A couple 6-1 teams out there.
What stood out to me is, this.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Watterson's 5-2.
Yeah.
But still having a great season.
And it's a huge game for them, especially. It's one of those all CCL weeks. The first was in week 6. This is the next. Week 10 is the third. But Watterson, you could probably argue this could be a must-win for them, because right now they're 3 points out of the playoffs in Region 11. Hartley is not comfortably in first place, but they're in first place at this point.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Watterson's been probably, if you're a fan of them this season, you might be feeling pretty stressful. They had to they kind of dodged the bullet last week, so to speak. I apologize for that reference, but they held off Youngstown Ursuline with held off a 2-point conversion right at the very end, and this is a must-win for them. There's no question about that.
And Hartley played another Northeast Ohio team in Austintown Fitch and came home with a victory last week as well. As you mentioned, they are 6-1 on the season. Dublin Kaufman and Hilliard Davidson, one of those rivalries we talk about. And week 8 obviously has been a big week, really 3-4 years running in a row, and this has been one of the stalwarts of that week. The Kaufman is going to Davidson. Talk about must-win for Watterson. I think we can argue now, after Davidson lost to UA, they're 9th. They're not far out of 8th, but they really can't afford to trip up.
Probably not. And they'll do it. They'll do it their way. And if maybe they can control the line of scrimmage, control the clock, hold Kaufman's offense. Kaufman has a lot of really good athletes in that offense. They maybe aren't doing it the same way as they used to do when they had the quarterbacks who threw for 3,000 yards. They don't really have a Gunnar Hoke or anything like that anymore, but they have a lot of different guys that are weapons for them. And Mike Drennan had his best game last week, so he adds to the mix for them. And of course, Kaufman's got Brian Threats and Jameel Williamson are both have really solid seasons for them.
Brian Threats has been a breakout here.
Yeah.
I saw him have a huge game against Olentangy. I think I saw on Twitter that he got an offer from Iowa State last week. So people are starting to take notice of what he's able to do. Davidson last week held down in a loss to UA. First time they've lost to UA since 2008. And, we talked last week about the ties between those two programs, and definitely a feather in the cap of Arlington, who we're going to talk about in a bit. But, Davidson is going to win games the way they will, and I personally never count them out. I don't care who they're playing. It's tough to ever count them out of a game, especially a game with the emotional aspects of this one.
Right. The question is, will they be able to, because everybody knows that they're not really trying to pass the ball at all this season. I think they're averaging maybe comes down to how well their line of scrimmage is going to play.
And we as writers always appreciate that because we get our stories in a little earlier when we cover teams that like to run the football. Some others that are big this week in the City League South Division, Walnut Ridge, a resounding victory over South last week. They are 7-0. South previously had been 6-0 going into that game. And they take on a Marion Franklin team that's coming off a 20-point win over Independence. Those two teams are going to square off. I think, just looking ahead at the schedule, this is probably the last big hurdle between Walnut Ridge and a 10-0 regular season.
You would think. And yes, Walnut Ridge is 7-0, and they've been very impressive. Yes, their schedule is not giving them the kind of luxuries that they would. A 7-0 team ought to be like first or second in their region.
And they're not in the top 8, I'm not sure.
So that kind of puts them in a little bit of an uncomfortable position. But as long as they do what they're capable of, they really shouldn't have any troubles the rest of the way. Now, Marion Franklin is probably the best team left on their schedule. They're probably the second best City League South team. Is what it's looking like. South is an up and coming team, but they really just weren't able to hang with them last week. Walnut Ridge has just got so many different ways they can move the football. And when I talked to Coach Maddox a few days ago, I said, your quarterback Howard Thornton's having a nice. Looks like he's having a really nice season, right? He's got 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and his response was, well, he's got a lot of weapons to work with, which he does. They got Damian Ross as a tight end who's really tough, and of course Keon Magwood is a great athlete. Javaris Leach has been healthy now for the last couple of weeks, so they've been able to move the ball just really well.
All right, in the OCC Central Division, Upper Arlington, we mentioned them a moment ago, coming off that win against Hilliard-Davidson. They're at home against Marysville, which is 5-2. UA and Dublin-Coffman are tied for first in the OCC Central, and this is something UA hasn't lost to Marysville in this millennium. It's been a while since they've fallen to them, but boy, this is taking on the complexion of a really important game in the OCC Central.
Yeah, also for playoffs too.
Yes,
Marysville is 5-2. This is a great season for Marysville. They haven't really been in the playoff discussion a whole lot over the years. I think they made it maybe a few years ago.
It's like just 3 or 4 years
ago. And they do what they do really well. They pound the ball. They grind you. They run the ball really well. Chase Kilgore. And actually, Gabe Powers is a really talented player for them. So, yeah, this is going to be another one of those games might be over in like 8:45.
UA, you talked about pounding the ball. Arlington's going to do that too. They've had a pretty good stable of running backs all year. Carson Graysock is a sophomore. Chris Reynolds is a sophomore. Chris Weistel is a senior. Eli DeHerite next to quarterback Jake Levy in that offense. So yeah, it's gonna be a battle of wills on Friday night at the newly refurbished Marv Moorhead Stadium. In the OCC Capital, 2 4-3 teams squaring off. New Albany at Big Walnut. New Albany rebounded from the loss to Canal in a big way. 536 total yards, 436 on the ground in a shutout of Newark last week. Big Walnut put up some pretty impressive numbers too, north of 400 yards of offense as they routed Franklin Heights. This has been New Albany has dominated this rivalry over the years. They lost to Big Walnut a couple of years ago, but that's been the exception rather than the norm here.
This is Big Walnut's big opportunity here to show that they really are, a potential playoff contender, I guess, so to speak. They're 4-3, but they don't really have a signature win out of that group. So this is going to be a big game for them, and of course they're going to have to stop the run because New Albany's what's his first name? Reed Hall. Having a great season for them. He's really right up there toward the top of the area leaders in rushing for them.
Another 220 yards and 4 touchdowns last week for Reed Hall as they shut out Newark 48-0. New Albany's 11th in the region right now. Davidson is 9, UA is 10, New Albany is 11th, and nothing is insurmountable for any of those 3 teams at this point. And you got to remember too, some of those top 8 are going to be playing each other, right. So there's going to be some jockeying around there. But it'd be better to get in early than leave it to chance as we get later. Liberty and Olentangy, speaking of a team that is at the top of Region 3, Olentangy Liberty is 7-0. They're going to go to Olentangy, which is 4-3. We mentioned earlier Olentangy lost to Orange last week. Liberty, big second half. They continue to win. This is always an intriguing rivalry game no matter what the records are. It's been an evenly matched one over the years. Liberty's going to grind it. They're going to find ways to win. Olentangy is able to throw the football and stay in games that way.
After talking to Coach Solis from Olentangy on Sunday, it really feels like they're going to come out with a very focused effort. I know they kind of left feeling pretty disappointed about the way they played last week, and I know they're they're believing that they can bounce back this week.
And it wouldn't be surprising. And what greater motivation than to do it against your biggest rival?
Yeah.
With all due respect to the others they play, I mean, but Liberty and Olentangy, that was the first school that split off. And,
That's right.
There's been a big rivalry for a long time there. A couple other games we want to make sure to mention. We mentioned about the All-CCL week earlier. The other game in the league is DeSales at 6-1. They're on the road at St. Charles 4-3. St. Charles probably has to win out to have any hope of making the playoffs. DeSales is in line for a home game in Region 8 at this point. In fact, they would play Canal Winchester right now. Any thoughts on this rivalry that's been dominated by DeSales over the years?
Yeah, I mean, St. Charles hasn't. I mean, they beat them like one time in the last 30 years or something like that. I mean, it's a lot, but sure, they could give them a good game. I mean, DeSales is playing. I think DeSales is playing pretty well.
A couple key games in the OCC Cardinal. Olentangy Berlin is at Dublin Scioto. Dublin Jerome is at Hilliard Bradley. We keep talking about, how that league race, and it's a little more jumbled now after last week. Any thoughts on either of those two
Well,
games?
Hilliard Bradley's had to kind of refocus after, they got off kind of a rough start, and it seems like they're maybe ready to bounce back and give a push to be in this league kind of race.
We mentioned Central Crossing will be at Westland on Thursday night. That is one of those 4 games. Another one that you put down that you wanted to talk about in the OCC Ohio, the Gahanna Lincoln Lions, coming off a 29-28 win at Reynoldsburg last week. They're home against Lancaster. I know you just came from this practice. It's a tough week for the Lions here.
Yeah, it's a really tough, ups and downs of last weekend for them. They had one of their players pass away over the weekend in a car accident, and they also had another one of their former players who was actually helping out with the middle school program also pass away over the weekend, and they're completely unrelated and everything. But it's just a really emotional time over there. Right after they Friday night celebrate their first win, so I'm sure that these guys are really going to rally around each other and hopefully use football as a way to kind of go through the healing process together.
And you got to think this is a winnable game for them.
Sure.
It's Lancaster struggled some this year. They're 2-4. So we'll see how everything plays out Thursday and Friday night across week 8 of high school football. We will be back with you next Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Of course, we don't know where yet, but we will get the site figured out over the weekend, and we will let you know. For Panthers coach Nate Hillerich and for Jarrod Ulrey, I'm Dave Purpura. So long, everybody.